Hello, ladies and gentlemen from across the world. Welcome to another edition of the Global Talkative Series, a platform where we come to, share ideas, rub minds, and then find common, knowledge in uncommon times that will help us to become successful in all of our endeavors. And on this platform, we are blessed to have individuals, leaders, influencers, from across the globe coming to share their own ideas with us. And then today we have a special guest in the house, a mother, a politician, a businesswoman, someone that is a role model for so many, doing some amazing work. No other person than our own very Jeeves Abitoye, the councillor of City of Fort Saskatchewan in Alberta. And I'm going to be bringing her in on Instagram because we're chatting live both on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. So I'm going to invite her in right away now. So I just sent you an invitation. So I'm guessing you should be seeing it now. So I just sent you an invitation. So I'm guessing you should be seeing it now. Okay. We're waiting for Jeep to join us on Instagram.
Okay, how are you?
Okay, how are you?
I am very well. Thank you, Larry. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, good.
Okay, good. So the last time, can you just check the volume of your phone if it's like reduced a bit?
Okay.
Okay, that's very good. Thank you very much. Yeah. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. I'm doing well. The weather is nice, and life is good. So I'm thankful.
Thank you very much. So to our audience around the world, our topic of discussion today is motherhood and politics beyond COVID-19. Motherhood and politics beyond COVID-19. And like we do it on this show, I would like to give you a brief background information about our guest so that you can relate with her when she's talking and know where she's coming from. So I'm just going to read a brief of the bio for our guest. Councillor Ajibola, Gibbs for short, Abitoye was elected as councillor for the city of Fort Saskatchewan in October 2017. Gibbs was born in Lagos, Nigeria, to a journalist father and information technology mom. She moved to Fort Saskatchewan in 2012 after getting married to her husband, Joshua. They are blessed with two sons, Timmy and DG. Gibbs has a Bachelor's of Science degree in Economics from the University of Lagos and certified as a project management professional. She's also completed a fourth-class power engineering course at the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, NATE. Gibbs' previous work experience include financial services representative at the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, CIBC, project cost controller at the Dow Chemical and credit risk analyst at the Guaranty Trust Bank in Lagos, Nigeria. She's a blogger, adventurer, fashion enthusiast, and she loves to dance. She also loves to spend time with her family and enjoys watching soccer with her husband. That's amazing. Gibbs is a volunteer in family and community support service board, Navy League Cadet, and as chair of the Fort Saskatchewan Multicultural Association. Gibbs is an active member on the city's various municipal boards and is currently council representative on the following boards: Community Grants Committee, Capital Region Waste Minimization Advisory Committee, for Saskatchewan Public Library Board, Homa Environmental and Sustainability Committee, FCM Finance and Intergovernmental Arrangement Committee, and then Air Infrastructure and Transportation Policy Committee, and then Women in Politics Committee. Quite an impressive resume. So welcome, Gibbs, to our global talkative series. How are you today?
Thank you so much, Larry, for having me. I am doing well. Thank you. And you know what? I apologize because the bio I sent to you is not updated. I actually have 3 kids now. So
Wow.
So when you said two boys, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So it's actually three kids. So I've got
So
two
what's the
boys
name
and
we're
a
talking?
girl.
What's the name?
So it's Timmy, DG, and Tammy.
Tammy, that is wonderful. That's beautiful. So Tammy, we're sorry. It was a name that sent us, but
She's a little baby anyway, so it's all good.
that's wonderful.
She won't be mad.
So to our audience, we appreciate you, Natasha, Mary, Vimba Bikumba, Joga Consort for joining, and we appreciate you all. We are coming through real time on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. And if you have any questions or gives, kindly send your questions, and we'll try as soon as possible to join answer the question. And Mochi Photography, thank you for joining. We appreciate you. So the first question I have is talk to our audience about your journey to politics. How did you get there?
How
Um, so I like to start telling my story by going a bit further than the actual story itself. So um, after I finished NYSC, so NYSC, for those who are not Nigerians, they are people that it's like a service you have to do after you finish your university degree. So you have to go for 1 year to serve your nation. So I did my NYSC, and right after I started working in Guarantee Trust Bank. And I worked there for 4 years. But what I realized working in that job was that I I absolutely felt unfulfilled.
Hmm.
It was paying the bills because it was paying me good money, right? But I just felt really flat. I felt like there's so much more I could be doing with my life, you know. And so what I did when the opportunity for me to immigrate to Canada came, I was like, you know what? That's it. I am going to take initiative. I'm not going to settle. I am going to go for my dreams.
Hmm.
I'm not going to settle. And so I started to share that story to say that anyone that's listening today, if you feel like maybe you felt that you feel that way right now, you feel like things are hopeless, you're just not feeling your job, like that you could be more or whatever, I hope you find hope in my story.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I was born and raised in Nigeria. Like you said in my bio, I immigrated to Canada after I married my husband, Joshua. And as soon as I set foot on this land, Canada, I proclaimed that this land would favor me, that
Hmm.
God is going to give me this land for possession. And I
Hmm.
said that to say, because I want you to listen to all the lessons in between everything I say. Affirmations are very powerful. Whatever
Hmm.
you're saying right now is what you're going to be tomorrow. What you are today is what you said yesterday. So you need to make sure that you're using affirmations and proclaiming whatever you want to say into your
Hmm.
life, because it will happen.
Yeah.
That is a guarantee.
Hmm.
And so after I moved to Canada, um, the first thing I started to do was I started to volunteer. Brand new in the new community, but I just realized that, look, you know what? I can actually give back by serving someone. And so I started to volunteer. I moved here in July 2012. By the end of 2012, I was on 3 boards,
Wow.
all got paid. As
Wow.
a new immigrant, I started to sit on different boards.
Hmm.
And something that people always told me was like, oh, you know what? You cannot get a proper job if you don't have Canadian experience or Canadian education.
Hmm.
You have to work in a Walmart or a McDonald's or some
Yeah.
sort of menial job. And I was like, "No, I'm better than that." And so my husband suggested that, since I had banking experience, I worked in Guaranteed Trust Bank for 4 years before I immigrated. And he said, why don't we go around the banks in our community and just tell them you have banking experience,
Hmm.
and just see what they say. And I said, great idea, let's go. At this point, I'd been just like maybe a couple of weeks in Canada. I just moved to Canada. So we started to go to the different banks in my community, and I'm like, can I see the branch manager, please? And then when I asked for the branch manager, they think, oh, she's here because she's a client. And they're like, oh yeah, of course, we're gonna get the branch manager. And so the branch manager comes like, oh, please come into my office, thinking, oh, maybe she's a client, right? And then I come in and and they're like, oh, would you like some coffee, whatever, and I eventually say, oh, you know what? I'm actually looking for a job. Here's my resume. Do you have vacancy for me?
Wow.
And what most of them will say is, oh, well, you have to apply online. You can't just come into the bank and ask for a job. I'm like, and I went to the next one and the next one. Well, I went to one, and the
Hmm.
branch manager was like, I think you'll be a great asset to CIBC. And she's like, here, this is information for an open house. There's going to be an open house in 2 weeks. I want you to go there. I'm going to tell the branch manager that you're coming. And so when I went to this open house, there's like 200 people. It was in downtown Edmonton. It was like 200 people there. So you know how open houses are. You just go in and then you have like a 5 minutes interview quickly. And if they like you, they give you a second interview. If they're like, oh, well, we'll get back to you later. And so I got a second interview. And so I went for my second interview, and then I was being interviewed by these two ladies. And then while this interview was going on, the third lady comes in, and she's like, "Oh, so my name is," she introduces herself. And I introduced myself also. She's like, "Oh my God, you're dead. The branch manager in," I don't remember the name of the branch right now, told me about you. But I was looking for you in open house day, but there was so many people here, I couldn't find you. But you know what? It is so good to meet you. And as soon as I left that job interview, like the next day, I got an offer. I'd been in Canada for less than a month, like about a month.
Wow.
I had my own office. When I was in Nigeria, I didn't have my own office. So we're like in an open space. I had my own office. I was brand new in Canada. I had my own office. I was doing a job that I liked at the time. And so I stayed on this job for like 6 months, and I started to get bored because I felt like it wasn't challenging me enough. But what that job did for me was it exposed me to the Canadian culture, the Canadian people. I was meeting like 5 to 10 people every day for different things, mortgages, lines of credit card, bank accounts, whatever it is. And he exposed me to the Canadian culture. So 6 months after, I'm like, no, I'm done with this job. I want something else. I feel like I can do better. And I started to, first of all, what I did was I wrote my PMP. I wrote my project management professional. Hi, Anu. Thanks for joining. Hi, Folarin. Thanks for joining. So I wrote my PMP and I passed. I had done the training in Nigeria before I immigrated. So I wrote my PMP, I passed, and I started to apply for different jobs. And I must have gone to like 4 different jobs. ExxonMobil put me into for the interview. And I was like, okay, yeah, well, I should be able to get one of these jobs. So you know what? None of them got back to me, none. 6 months after, I was like, I actually think I'm done with this job. I feel like I can't just stay here anymore because I'm beginning to feel almost brain dead in this job. So I'm going to leave. And so what I decided to do, I'd always wanted to be an engineer, right from time. But I studied economics in University of Lagos.
Wow.
And so I'm like, this is my opportunity to just do something engineering, And so I went to study power engineering in NATE. I got admission to study power engineering in NATE part-time. And so I quit my job in CABC. 2 weeks after I quit my job in CABC, I got a call from Dow Chemical, one of the companies I had interviewed with 6 months before, that if I was interested, the job is available now. 2 weeks after. Now, I'm saying that to say that sometimes you need to let go of what's in your hand to get what you want.
Yeah.
And I believe that's what happened there. I got my job with Dow Chemical, and that was fantastic. It was a project controls role, and that was, better paying by far, the banking job, and I was there for almost a year, and then I got pregnant. Newly married. We've been married for 2 years. This was 2014, so I've been married for 2 years, yeah. And I got pregnant, so I had to leave the job, right? And so I did like 1 year
maternity
leave. Thank you, maternity leave. And after my maternity leave, I was pregnant again. No, it was planned. I wanted to have my kids back to back, and so I was pregnant again. And so obviously I couldn't go back to work. And so by the time I had my second son, I'd been at home for 16 months. Now, if you know me, I cannot I literally started to feel brain dead because I wasn't speaking to like adults. It was kids all the time. And I'm like, you know what? It was gonna kill me. I'm leaving this house once I have this baby. I'm gonna go to work. So just before I had my son, I said to myself, I want a job that's going to be part-time. It's going to be downtown Edmonton. I don't live in Edmonton, but I went to work in downtown Edmonton. Downtown Edmonton, part-time. And it doesn't matter what kind of job. It could be a bank or whatever. I had banking experience. And so I saw this one job, and I applied to it. And I got that one job. And let me say something. I had a C-section for my 2 kids. And with my second son, like when I was going for the interview for this job, I was just 3 weeks postpartum. So I just had my baby 3 weeks before. And obviously with the C-section, you haven't healed. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
totally.
I still went because I'm like, this is what I want. I'm going to go for it, right? Nothing's going to hold me back. I couldn't drive, right? My husband had to take me. And so I went for the job. I got the job. But 5 months after I had to leave because my mother-in-law, who was here to help me, had to go back to Nigeria.
Wow.
And so when I came back home in 2016, and I was at home for a few months, I decided to watch the US politics, the one with Hillary and Trump.
Yeah.
And I followed that election closely. I was very, very inspired by Hillary and her story and just the momentum that her campaign was peaking. Very disappointed she didn't win. But that just really got me interested because I'm not someone to be interested in politics as much, right? But it got me interested, and I told my husband, like, I think I'm getting interested in politics, and it was actually my husband's idea. I was like, why don't you run for council? I'm like, how can I run for council? No, there's no way I can run for council. Like, I'm not even a citizen. I just started to count all the, that, like, I'm new, I'm only 4 years old. Like, who's gonna vote for her? Like, So, but as I started to think about it, I started to research and find more information. I was like, it's actually not impossible.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to just do it. Because I decided I was going to do it. It was like God just started to put things in my way and just align my way to make it happen. First thing, my citizenship came out in 3 months. Then I met my MP in an event that the men's group had organized, and he supported my campaign, one of me, just provided me resources. I met with my MLA, and they were all just like rooting for me, like, yeah, you can do this, you can do this. And when I was going, we did work hard, but everybody did work hard. I wasn't the only one who worked hard, But when we were going door and door, we just had amazing stories at the doors that just was very encouraging. And then it was 15 people, I believe. 15 people ran, and the top 6 people won. And I had a third highest vote, and that was just amazing for me. Like, it was mind blowing. For me, I'm a newcomer. I've been in Canada at the time of the election. I've been in Canada for 5 years. I've been in Canada for 5 years. I'm a newcomer in this community, and I won. How is that even possible?
Yeah.
But I as a privilege and as an opportunity to serve.
That's amazing storyline. Thank you so much. While you were talking, you said something about the power of affirmation, positive confession. Surround yourself with positivity. And I read in the Bible or something that says that as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. That means if you flood your heart with or your mind with positive thoughts, somehow you are your idea. At some point, because if you keep saying it and you work towards it, you're gonna get it.
Absolutely. And I have communities that I share to people. So if anybody's interested, I can always share it to people that I use, very powerful. If you can just keep saying what you want to see in your life, it will definitely happen. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. Andrea _9474. Thank you for joining us. Jill Maria, thank you for joining. Adamu Ruth Tinam, thank you for joining. We appreciate you. This is still the Global Talkative Series, a global platform where we'll come to share ideas during this uncommon time. And our guest today is James Abitoye, Councillor, City of Fort Saskatchewan in Alberta. And our topic today is motherhood and politics beyond COVID-19. That takes me to the second question for you, our councillor. Talk to us about the unique challenge of being a Black female in a male-dominated field, such as politics, especially in the new environments you find yourself. The challenges.
The truth be told, like, sometimes when people, especially not in my community, but like when I go out to like national events or provincial events and I introduce myself as a counselor, I see this surprised look on their face, like, really? As a matter of fact, okay, so one of the things I did in my first year was I got on some federal boards, right? And I remember this man saying this to me in my face. It's like, wow, the people of Fort Saskatchewan must be very tolerant.
What?
And you know what? And he didn't understand what he said because he thought he was saying something that was okay. And so what I do in my own is to try to educate people, especially with what's happening right now, like racism and everything that's happening right now. I use my platform, and like when I go for board meetings, when I go for council meetings, I talk about it. Like, look, it's not enough for you to not just be racist, but you need to be consciously anti-racist. That's
Yeah.
very important right now. So the truth is, people are gonna always look at you like, okay, but I don't let that get to me. Like I said, I don't sweat this. I don't sweat the small stuff. I do not. Like I focus on whatever it is that I'm trying to get, and that's it. I ignore the naysayers, to be honest, and that's the truth. But the truth is that people are just going to look at you like, okay, like you actually belong here, But for me, diversity is very important. Diversity is very important that kids that are Black see someone like them in a position of leadership. It's very important, So how have I dealt with it? I just ignore the naysayers. Like I don't let it get to me, because it's very important that we protect our minds. It's so important that I was having this conversation with someone recently, and it was like, oh, do you notice that sometimes, like when you see your colleagues outside in public, they don't say hi to you. They just kind of like move their face away, and they pretend like they don't see you. I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's true. I've experienced it a few times in the past. So right now, what I do when I go in, this is terrible, and I'm sorry I do this. I'm doing this to take care of my mind, my mental, I really need to take care of my mind. What I do is that when I go out, I really don't see people. I don't. No, let me put it in the
Your focus.
I don't give people the opportunity to hurt me. Does that make sense? So if you're gonna say hi to me, of course I'm gonna say hi to you too.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go out of my way to, say hello to you, and then you just look at me and you look at me like I don't know you. Why are you saying hello to me? And we're colleagues. Excuse me.
Wow.
So so this happened in my former place of work. So in my current council, of course, none of them does anything like that. I mean, we're colleagues, we respect each other, Well, in the past, it happened to me. That's the way I protect myself. Like, I just take my mind, because the more you keep doing that and doing that and doing that, it's going to
affect your mentality.
Material.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. So I take care of my mind that way. So it's very important that we take care of our minds.
Yeah. That is really, really, really essential. Living intentionally, practicing what I call the law of advanced forgiveness. That means, at the beginning of each year, we do, or a lot of people, they do what they call a New Year resolution.
Yep.
Now, the law of advanced forgiveness is about, as I'm stepping to year 2021, I've forgiven everybody that will offend me already.
That's very powerful.
Yeah, law of advanced forgiveness. That irrespective of who you are, if you're going to offend me in year 2021, I've already forgiven you. So that as you live your life and as events unfold, those things will come. Challenges will come here and there, coupled to your work. But you know what? Your mind is made up. Your eyes is set like a flint. You're not being distracted. So that's a very, very powerful way to live intentionally. Thank you so much for that. So from managing politics and family, how has it been? Because working in a bank, it's different ball game, and working in politics, because politics is going to pull you left, right, and center. So how have you been able to manage the home front with the politics?
To be honest with you, Larry, I have an amazing support system.
That is
good.
Husband,
like I told you, this idea was actually my husband's idea. It wasn't mine. So he saw something in me and thought, you know what, I think you can do this. Like what I didn't even believe I could do. He was like, I think you can do this. So I have an amazing support system, which I'm very thankful for. And I also have a nanny. My kids are 5 and under. So my first son is 5. My second son is 4. I have a baby she's not even 1 year yet. She's 11 months old. So I have very young kids, and I realized that I can't do this by myself. So I'm not afraid to say that, look, I know that I can't do this by myself, and I ask for help any way I can. I have an amazing support system. I have a nanny that helps me in the house as well. And like I said before, I don't sweat the small stuff. Like if I can't, okay, so when COVID started, one of the ways I take care of my mind, and I take care of my mind a lot in this country, one of the ways I take care of my mind is watching the news I watch. Like really just making sure that I don't consume news that's just wrong for me, that would affect me. I'm a very visual person. But when COVID started, because I'm a counselor and decisions had to be made for our community, I had to keep abreast with what was going on. I was watching all this news, it started to affect me mentally, right? And so I'm like, I'm going to have to find a strategy that will work for me. And so what did I do? I started to work on a schedule. Now, I have a schedule that I set where I divide my day into three, right? So morning, afternoon, and evening. And in each segment, I'm able to do like things, mindset work, work with my kids, check on my husband. I do some well health work is last thing because I do like housework, but I kind of have to do it. So let's get it later in the day. But so I do basic things. So I do strategy as well, my work on my business, work on my business. And so I take care of myself that way because I'm someone that if I'm not productive in my day, it starts to impact me. And so this way I'm able to measure what I achieve in each segment, right? And so I do this with mindset. So things like journaling, things like affirmations, that's very important to me. Things like visualization. And I need to talk to you about the power of the vision board. The power of a vision, but I can't overemphasize how powerful a vision board is. I'll give you a story, Larry. 2018, I got a vision board. By the end of 2018, guess how many things that come to pass?
How many?
What?
How many?
Guess. I'm coming back to you. Guess. Can you guess?
Everything.
Yeah, like almost everything, like 95%.
Wow.
Right? So 2018 came, I did my vision board again. 2019, came, I did my vision board again. I put it up, and then 3 months down into the year, I had to put it down because I'm going to paint my wall, the wall in my room. And it never got back to the wall. And so by the end of 2019, my coach sent me a message saying, oh, so we're going to do a vision board for 2020. And that just triggered me. I'm like, oh my God, yes, my vision board, where is it? And I go and find it. Guess how many had come to pass?
How many? Like 0.
I'm not joking. 0.
Wow.
That was like a life lesson for me. I'm like, oh my God, this tool is so powerful. If you don't have a vision board, it's never too late. Get on it. You need a vision board. But I'm very visual. What we see, we take in. Our subconscious is very powerful. When you're waking up, and I prefer for it to be in your room. When you're waking up, you're in your subconscious state, and your subconscious is actually taking in everything that's in your environment. That vision board is a tool that you should use. And that brings me to my business, New York Fashion Week. I know we'll talk about it later.
Yeah,
with my vision board for 2020, right? And I put it there because when I was talking to my mentees, I told them that I put it there because I don't know if I can do this year. I mean, I'm still a new business, but I'm putting it there so that I can start to work towards going in 2021. Do you know the first thing that happened on my vision board? New York Fashion Week.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yes. So that tool, vision board, is so powerful. If you don't have it, you should get on it. Honestly, get on it.
That is, for me, one of the things that I do to refresh my mind on a daily basis, I read the scriptures, the Bible. And there's a place in Habakkuk that says that write the vision down.
Yeah.
Though it tarries, that means though it delays, wait for it. It will surely come to pass. In other words, learn to write down. See, that is what, what they call to-do list. It's like writing a vision. Writing each day, you can have a long-term goal, short-term goal, or long-term vision, short-term visions. And then, like you're saying, the vision board is like a to-do list. I have some on daily basis, some on weekly, some on monthly. And, this has proven to work because it's like a guide for your life.
Absolutely.
You're looking at, I need to do this, I need to do this. And, it sort of work together to prepare you, to arrange you to focus your mind on this we're doing. So thank you very much for sharing that. Andrea on Instagram said, yes. That means they say, this is accurate, this is perfect. And Elijah Omoro Gava, thank you for joining us on Instagram. And Yinka Oladile on Facebook, we appreciate you. Thank you for joining us and all other guests from around the world. This is still the Global Talkative Series, and our guest today is James Abitoye, this counselor for the city of Fort Saskatchewan in Alberta, and our topic today is motherhood and politics beyond COVID-19. So, from your experience that you shared so far, can female politicians be an effective mothers?
That question is very deep. So absolutely, I don't see why not. So for me, when I was going to go into politics, so I said I did a lot of research to see if it's going to be a good fit for me and my family, because my family is also very important. And part of the research I found out was, as a politician in Fort Saskatchewan, as a councillor in Fort Saskatchewan, it's part-time. It's not like the big cities in Edmonton and Calgary; those are full-time. But in Fort Saskatchewan, it's part-time. So I do 15 to 25 hours work week. That was the information I was told, according to the research I did. And I thought, you know what, this is actually a perfect fit for me, because it gives me time to also still be there for my kids and be a mother to my kids. So in response to your question, absolutely, a politician can be an effective mom. Because you know what? I mean, I work like 15 to 25 hours per week as a politician. Most working moms work 40 hours. That gives me, it's like every morning I'm here with my kids, taking them to the bus, I take them into bed every night, So I mean, I might be busy because I have a business as well. But in terms of my work, it's not as demanding as a regular job. Although you have switch off, right? Because you're always going to be that person that that's neighbor's going to come and talk to you about, oh look, my trash didn't get picked up this week. So there's no closing time, So you always have to be available to pick up that call or reply to that email or whatever. But
so people come to ask you such questions about the trash board. Wow.
Absolutely, yes. Because as a municipal councillor, your job is three things. Number one, you make policies. Number two, you set priorities. So there's so many needs in the community, but there's very limited resources. How do you prioritize the things that are important to the community? And number three, represents the public. So I'm a representative of the public. So if the public comes to me and says, "Oh, well, the tree in my yard is has like a disease or whatever, is the city going to help me take it off?" Or like residents will call you for literally everything. My dog is barking too much, So like and you have to be there. That's your job. You can't say no. You have to be there. So.
That is amazing, and that is, being a politician is like a sacrifice, giving yourself the opportunity to do and to serve the community. China's God bless. Thank you. ESCA Foundation, thank you for joining this conversation. This is still the Global Talkative Series here from our studio, and our guest today is James Abitoye, the counselor for Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta, and our topic today is motherhood and politics. So the question I have for you now is, what has been the most challenging phase of your professional life as a mother, politician, banker? What has been the most challenging phase of your life?
Let me just quickly shout out Chinaza. Hi, Chinaza. I see you. So the most challenging part of my life is 3 weeks after I moved to Canada, I lost my mom.
Wow.
It was, I mean, I'd come to a new country. I didn't really know anyone. It was just my husband. I mean, I had a few high school friends here, but I was literally by myself, And exactly 21 days after I moved here, I got a call at midnight saying my mom had passed. At this point, my mom was the closest person to me, right? Because I just got married. I was first my husband, but she was still like, And that was such a challenging time for me because, like, I was raised to be a Christian and to just depend on God and everything. And at that point, I was just mad at God. I'm like, oh, how do you take this woman who is so faithful to you? So even God, who was my backbone, God, who is my rock, I also just threw away that relationship. I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I can do this. That really impacted me. but and I refused to go back home at that point because it was a fire, and I didn't want to remember her in that state. So what I did was I just had to focus on doing work. I just threw myself into work and to take my mind off that tragedy and that pain. Um, but I mean that was painful. That was the biggest tragedy of my life because my mother was my mother. And she was there, and she could see the future. She could see the future. That woman. But yeah,
That I can imagine it's going to be a very painful, period, and that you're not there for her, last moment of her life. So sorry about that. And that led me to the next question: that who is your hero in this context? Who's your hero? Someone that inspires you.
I have a lot of people that inspire me. A lot of people that inspire me: Michelle Obama, Oprah, and all of those people. But the people that inspire me more than those big names are the everyday women that wake up every morning and go to work, take care of their family, do all these things. They do all these things and they still live. Like women are like the most amazing creatures. So what inspires me is women that take care of their family and go to work every day, and just seeing how they go through one hurdle after the other and after the other, and they still come out looking pretty and
Yeah.
all together. And you know what, they're always the last to take care of themselves. They put everybody before them. They're always the last to take care of them. They don't think about their dreams, they don't think about their goals, they don't think about their aspirations. They put everybody else's before them. And you know what, while I'm a mom, well, this is really good. It's very important for women to remember themselves in this process. It is very important to take care of yourself. I'm so busy. I started a new business and it's been taking a lot of my time. But I still try to take care of myself. Before COVID, I said a man is three parts. You have body, soul, spirits.
Yeah.
Now I take care of my body. How do I take care of my body? I go for a massage every 2 weeks. Pre-COVID, right now my husband has been the massage.
Wow.
But I take care of myself. I go for massage. I work out every morning. I wake up once it's 7:30. That's the first thing I do. And I want to tell you guys, when you wake up in the morning, do the most difficult thing. And the most difficult thing is, it's easy to start meditating, but when you do the hardest thing first, it makes everything in your day align.
Yeah.
So first thing I do when I wake up is I work out, you know. So I take care of my body, I take care of my soul. So I do therapy. Like I say, I have a therapist I see from time to time. And now I know that especially in African culture,
Context, yeah.
the therapist is like, do you have a problem? Are you
Yeah.
mentally changed? But everyone needs a therapist, trust me. Because you need someone to just be able to talk to. That's not, they don't necessarily have to tell you what to do, but just someone to talk to that will be non-judgmental. Because
Yeah.
sometimes if you're talking to your spouse or talking to your friends, they might be like, are you sure you're okay? But the therapist is that your job, so they can help you. I think of myself, my mind that way, and I also do meditations, affirmations, visualizations, journaling, those types of things. And my spirit, I'm a child of God. I say that everywhere. I love God. I believe in God. I serve in church. So my spiritual life, I take care of that. I pray, I fast, I read the Bible, I go to church, and I serve in church. So man is three parts, and you have to do that. So, but women, I'm just saying this to you, your mom here, listening to me. Thank you for all you do, but remember yourself. It is so important. It is so important that you take care of yourself.
That's
However you want to take care of yourself. But
Yeah.
please don't forget yourself. And don't forget that dream. Because you know what? You don't want to be in your deathbed and
regretting.
and say, oh my God, these dreams I had, I didn't do it because I just put everybody else before me. Prince EA, he said something. He said, look, we are visited by the ghosts of who we could have been on our deathbeds. Right. And the ghosts tell you, we chose you, but you refuse to let us leave. That's so powerful. I just got goosebumps. That's so powerful. You don't want to get to that point when you're like, oh my God, I wanted to do this. I wanted to become a pilot. I wanted to date this person. I wanted to do this, but I didn't do it because.
Well, it's amazing, because it has been said that the richest place on earth is the graveyard,
That's right.
because it is full of unrealized dreams, potentials that never see the light of day.
Mm-hmm.
And why you still, when you have life, you have hope, and when you are alive, it is good to take care of yourself, have your me time,
Absolutely.
unwind, relax, and then that will help you to rewind, and get back to being yourself. Thank you very much for that. It's amazing. Bastiru Silla, thank you for joining us. ATL Cares, thank you for joining us, and those who are joining on Instagram as well, we appreciate you. Now, we've done a lot of politics and motherhood. You have other areas of interest, other passion, which has to do with fashion, and you have some collections that were shown this year on the runway at the New York Fashion Week. That is amazing fit, for someone other from Africa doing that. So tell us a brief about your fashion and your passion and your business.
Yeah. So like early last year, I was pregnant with my daughter, and I started to pray to God. I'm like, I want to start a business. I want to start a business that will make impact as well. And so just right after I had her, the Spirit of God spoke to me and said, fashion. And I said, fashion. I mean, I love fashion. I have some training in fashion as well. But I'm like, the fashion industry is so populated. Like, I was expecting maybe one technology, invent one technology or something like that. But it's like fashion. I'm like, God, why fashion? And so I have a group of people that we pray. So I have two sisters that we pray. I'm the only girl for my family, but Christian sisters. But we pray together every weekend. And so I speak to these people and say, you know what, you guys pray for me. God is telling me something. I want to know what exactly, I just want to clarify that, yes, this is what he's saying. And so it was like, God was saying, yes, do it. And at that point, I was really afraid to just go ahead. And he gave me a word. And the word he gave me was, fear not, for I am with you. Isaiah 41:10. And I'm like, why are you giving me this word? I'm someone that's very fearless. I'm that person that when I'm on the plane and the plane's like going, I'm fine. So I'm like, why is God telling me to not be afraid? And I started to realize when he told me that, because just for me to take the first step, I felt this fright in me. And then I got a coach. Now I'm gonna say this. Everyone needs a coach and a mentor. I can't overemphasize how important this is. What a coach does for you is that they shorten your journey, because what, you've been there, you've done that. They give you advice and tell you the steps to take to get to what you're going to. No, I have two different people as my coach and my mentor, right? So I got a coach, and she asked me, so what's your plan? And I'm like, I want to launch my business. And she's like, when? And I said, okay, I want to launch my business in 2 weeks. And she's like, you're going to do this. And I launched my business in 2 weeks. And I launched my business in November 2019. And like I told you, I put my New York Fashion Week on my vision board. And January 2020, the opportunity came for me to go to New York Fashion Week. And I'm like, how is this possible? Like, I spoke to the director of the organization that organized it. And she's like, I'm like, why did you guys choose me? Like, I've literally been in business for 3 months. How is this possible? And she's like, oh, well, it was a team decision. And we were just looking for people with originality. And we just wanted some fresh, designers. It's just the same people we see all the time. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. And so I went to New York Fashion. I went to New York with my daughter. My daughter was just 7 months old then, but I'm like, I am going to do this. This is one time. I was actually considering moving into next year. But I'm like, no, I got this opportunity. I'm going to take it. You have to drive the baby with me. We're going together. Yeah. So I did go, and it was an amazing experience. Like, when I'm a very emotional person, when my collection came, I literally bawled. Like, I'm like, how is this possible? This is just 3 months, So, and we got back, and we got a lot of media attention, and we started to pop-up events. The first one was really successful, and COVID hits.
Wow.
COVID, but we had to find ways to pivot in our business. And so what we started to do, because we started doing just like really quintessential luxury designs.
Okay.
We decided that we need to start doing African fashion, because that's very different, especially on the side of the world. So we decided, so we're actually launching a collection, African wear, in June, later this month. So if you're not following me already, am I about to say this?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yes.
If you're not following me already, the new African fashion one that's what we're launching is Cultivating Girl Apparel. It's on Instagram and on Facebook. So it's Divinity Girl Apparel. So Divine ITY Girl Apparel. So we're launching that fashion brand by the end of June, and we're also looking at doing digital courses for people who have a fashion, who have like a fashion background, but they don't really know how to scale their business or market their business to make money. So our digital course is gonna have like a 5-step proprietary process where we're gonna be talking about sales and marketing, getting media attention for your brand, the things that we've done before, leveraging stages, so you leveraging podcasts, social media, virtual events, and access to brands for your business. Because you know what, as a business, you can get 6-figure grants, 7-figure grants even.
Wow.
Um, and really, we have had that process of how to make actually 5 figures of fashion. Yeah,
That's amazing. Yeah.
launching that more content soon. Not paid yet, but I'm doing that for fashion business entrepreneurs that may be
That is
interested.
amazing. That's amazing. That is very good. That's wonderful. Now, talking in terms of COVID-19, what has your experience been in terms of going out to work, your business? In what ways has this COVID-19 impact your life in general?
Yeah, well, I think I shared a bit of it already. Like when it first started, I was just really, really, really impacted mentally, especially. Um, yeah, I was just mentally impacted, and I had to take strategies, and that's what I talked about, the scheduling I do. I do mindset work, I do spiritual work. That's very important for me. Every morning by 7:30, I wake up and I come to my basement and I do workout. I work out for half an hour, and I use another half an hour to
Yeah.
pray and to read the Bible and meditate. And I also do some work on my kids. I mean, we're homeschooling kids, right? So I just find creative ways to just engage my kids. So that might be like turning our living room to a soccer pitch, or just taking them out to the playground. And I also check in with my husband, because my relationship with my husband is very important to me as well.
Yes.
So I always have to check in, just be sure that we're in a good place and everything's going well, and obviously some housework, yeah, so I make sure that I schedule my day, and if I'm not able to get through it, I don't sweat it. Because I know some people just kill themselves. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not able to get to my kids' schoolwork. That's okay. Do it tomorrow. Don't kill yourself over the small stuff. And that's one thing I'm able to do to take care of my mind. Like I don't sweat. I don't bother myself about the little things. If I'm able to take care of it today, I'll take care of it tomorrow.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is wonderful. Now, like we have the issue of racism, going on right now. I said to some folks, I said we have two major pandemics eating our world presently: the coronavirus pandemic and the racism pandemic. Now, what do you think as a politician? How do you use your platform to, I'm sure you must have had your own share of racism, like you mentioned at the beginning of this conversation. So, as a politician, how are you using your platform to, make corrections, adjust, or set things straight?
Okay, so the subject of racism is a very delicate topic, because a
Yeah.
lot of people, especially in Canada, like the US is a bit different, but in Canada, people think, oh, we're very nice people here. There's no racism here, but that is so not true.
Yeah.
There is racism in Canada. But I'll share a little story. So recently, I got invited by a white woman to an anti-immigrant Facebook group in my community that was started by a white woman.
Hmm.
Now that really upsets me, because the person that comes to my mind is like, why is there a white woman that is starting this group? What happened to all my black people?
Yeah.
Why are we the ones starting this group? And especially because we have a multicultural association in our community, I'm like, why isn't it them that's taking the initiative? Because I actually emailed the chair of that group, saying, what is your group doing about what's happening? And I didn't get a response. But later I started to think to myself, like, no, actually, why am I mad? She's actually taking action.
Yeah.
I should be mad about her taking an action. I should actually be thankful that someone, though why, is going ahead and creating a group that me or a fellow Black person didn't do. So I should actually be thankful. So you know what? I always say this, and what I've done in all my board meetings I've been attending, I end with a speech. It's not enough to not be racist. You have to be consciously anti-racist. It is very important that you consciously be anti-racist. So today, I got this organization, one of the recent organizations in my community reached out to me because, this Black Lives Matter is gaining a lot of momentum. So they're trying to introduce a new output. They're trying to introduce let out someone. Okay, I'm not going to say too much, but essentially they invited me to be able to, me and some other Black people to be able to give them input. And I said, look, in your questionnaire, it has to be a question about inclusivity.
Yeah.
You understand? Diversity and inclusion, they're two different things.
Exactly.
For example, diversity, like inviting a girl to the dance. Oh, let's go to the dance. Inclusion is actually asking her to dance. You know what? You want to a dance, you go to prom, and you invite a lady, but you just ignore her throughout the event.
You're not being inclusive. You're not getting involved.
Or for example, you have a diversity and inclusion policy. That's what people say. Oh yeah, we have which is good, which is very good. I put a motion forward to have a diversity and inclusion policy in my community, and there we have a policy. That's perfect. But the inclusion part is when you see a resume with a name like Badiaka, you don't say, oh, this is one of us. We can't call him back.
Yeah.
You have to be inclusive to at least get those people to come for the interview.
Yeah.
You don't disqualify someone based on their name.
Or the color of their skin. Or the way they sound. Or the way they sound.
Yeah, that was just an example I was giving with the name. So what am I doing personally? First of all, when I go for my board meetings, I talk about it. I'm the one chairing my next council meeting on Tuesday. I'm going to talk about it. I talk about it, number one. Number two, I'm starting a not-for-profit. And the reason I'm starting this not-for-profit is because I'm taking action. Starting a not-for-profit to access government grants, because that's the only way you can access government grants. Because I want to push for education and engagement. Now, during Black History Month last year, I did a roundtable conversation with Black people. And one lady said that her son had been bullied for the longest time. And the kids will tell him that the reason it's so dark is because after his mom had him, she pooped on him.
Wow.
Do you understand? So, especially among kids need to be educated. People need to have the conversations in their homes, in their businesses, in schools, in churches, in communities. People shouldn't shy away from it. We need to have this conversation and engage people, because people need to be consciously. They don't say racism and ism; they call it implicit bias. That implicit bias, we need to deal with it.
Yeah.
I want to deal with it now. Now that Black people have that 5 minutes of attention, we need to do as much as we can. Support Black businesses, support Black people, because right now, really, Black life matters. All life matters, yes, but right now, we are focusing on Black lives, because enough is enough.
Yes, thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity to talk about these major issues, and then we have about 5 minutes more, to end today's discussion, and I have one last question, before we draw the curtain to this topic, and it is on the screen right now. What advice do you have for vibrant women out there who desire to pursue a great family and politics?
Okay, so I think I already addressed this issue just a little bit when I talked about it's important for you to prioritize yourself. I think I will speak first of all from a single's perspective, and then from a married woman's perspective. Let's speak from a married woman's perspective first. First of all, you need to believe that you can have whatever you want to have. That's a great family. Believe that you can have it. You deserve it. Look, people that are already doing it, they don't have two heads. Like my mother worked with, but this person that got an A, this doesn't have two heads. They don't have two heads. You can get whatever it is that you want to get. Believe in yourself. And you know what? Your message matters. I've been saying this for so long. Your message matters. Someone needs to hear your message. So I need you, if you're listening to me, to do something. Do whatever it is that you want to do it. Pursue that dream. Pursue that goal. Go for it. Just little steps. Little steps. Take the first step. First step might be talking to someone about your dream or your heart desires. That might be the first step. The first step might be, if you're going to write a book, just even writing the first chapter, or even just deciding on what topic am I going to talk about, what message do I want to pass. What I'm trying to say is that your message matters. People need to hear your message. Your dreams are valid. Your goals are valid. And you need to pursue that dream, because remember, on your deathbed, the ghosts of who you could have been would visit you, and they would tell you, why did you let us down? You don't want to do that. So right now, today, not tomorrow, take the first step. And again, the first step might just be you talking to somebody else about that dream. The first step might be you registering that business. The first step might be you writing that first chapter. The first step could be anything, but take the first step.
That is amazing.
And also, I said I have a supportive husband, and I'm blessed that way. I'm thankful to God I have a husband that supports me. But you know what? Everybody's blessed that way. If you don't have a support system in your husband, find your support system. I said everybody needs a coach and a mentor. Find a coach. Find someone that you see that their method aligns with you, or someone that you see that, oh, this what they have, you want it. And ask them to coach you. Because if I had a coach, when I started with my coach, my dream was to start a business. 2 weeks after starting with her, my business started. It wasn't like if I hadn't started coaching with her, obviously it wouldn't have started, and I wouldn't have the opportunity to go to New York Fashion Week. I would have missed my opportunity. But right now, on my resume, New York Fashion Week designer, nobody can take that from me. If I wait 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, I would have lost the opportunity. Everybody needs a coach and a mentor. That is important. Finally, meditate your mindset. You need to take care of your mind. The mind is so powerful. I'll give you an example. Right now, my husband and I are doing keto diets. We just started like this week. We're going to do it for a month and just see, because I mean, COVID has made us add weight all everywhere. We're trying to lose some weight. My husband went to work yesterday, and he was at work till 4. He didn't eat anything, and he came back home fine. And I was at home throughout, and I was like almost dizzy, almost passing. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? I'm saying that to say that your mind is so powerful. Your mind is so powerful. The reason why he didn't even think about food was because he was focusing on work.
And engaged.
About, it was work. So what are you focusing on? What are you focusing on? Do mindset work. Mindset works are very powerful. Meditations, journaling, visualization. What are you focusing on? If you're a Christian, the Bible says that as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. What are you focused? What are you looking at?
Thank you very much for today, Councillor Jeeps Abitoye, and it's amazing, having this discussion. And I hope you guys enjoy this episode of the Global Talkative Series. Thank you so much, and I want to say, one thing I learned from what you're saying is this, having a good support system, having a mentor, having a coach, and then taking care of yourself, which is very, very important. And to our audience all around the world, thank you for hanging out with us on this Global Talkative Series. We appreciate you for your time, and thank you once again for joining. Until we come again your way next time, it's bye from me and from our studio. Thank you very much, and our guest, thank you. Bye for now, everybody.
Bye.